Hello, everyone. We are live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It's Wednesday, I had to look, October 9th. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And an OBC original Broadway cast, if you don't know what that means, member of the smash hit Come From Away. Petrina Bromley's here.
Yay!
We're gonna find out all about Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I mean, we all feel like we
know.
know because she's from there. She's legit.
She's from the Rock. Ooh. There you go.
You want to sing it? Do you want to sing?
I do not.
Welcome?
That's not what I do. No.
It's not happening. We'll talk to her, find out everything about what's going on over at the hit. I mean, 3 years in.
Yeah.
It's like turned
And
into
lines down the street.
It's a Broadway institution. But first, today's top 5.
Our original Jasmine is coming back for a quick royal engagement.
So quick, but so cute to have Courtney Reed, we love Courtney Reed, back in Aladdin for a very limited time, October 16th through October 27th. Ariel Jacobs going on vacation. She'll be back October 28th. How great to have the original OBC member of Broadway's Aladdin, Courtney Reed. Pretty awesome.
You know, I met Clinton Greenspan today.
You did. He plays Aladdin.
And he was fantastic and really nice. And he's a big Broadway.com fan.
Oh, well,
He grew up with us, Beth.
don't say that.
This happens. This is what
You should
happens
come and be
now.
right over here. You're welcome anytime.
So they'll be flying a carpet together
They'll be flying
for 2 weeks.
There it is, yes. And we found out some exciting casting news for the upcoming production of Evita at New York City Center.
Yeah, I'm excited for this Evita because I know a lot of
It's a
people
different
have been...
Evita.
Yeah.
Yes.
Evita. I like to say it like Patti LuPone.
Evita.
Yeah.
I just watched her Buenos Aires on the Tony Awards this
Who's the casting,
past
Paul?
weekend.
Who's the casting?
Jason Gautier, who we love, is playing Che in the production. And it is a special gala staging. He was previously at City Center in Call Me Madam,
Yep.
Carmen Cusack. But what do we know him? Bring It On, of course. Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark. The Anthem, Effing Up Everything. Did you see that?
I did not,
It was fun.
but I like the title.
Yeah, it was in the.
I relate to the title.
The former, one of those former. Trying to think how to say adult theaters in the Times Square in the Times Square region when they started doing.
They're gone now.
Anyway, it was a fun show.
Yeah.
And so we already know Saleha Pfeiffer, who is currently out west in Almost Famous, will be playing Evita. Along with Maya Rafiko. They're alternating. So I think it's the first sort of major production where they have 2 actresses playing Evita. So we'll see how that goes. It's kind of like the Cher show concept, but not.
Not at all.
Some shows 3 people do it, 1, now 2. 2 is very original.
Totally not like that at all.
Sammy Canold is directing. And anyway, it's a 2-week run, November 13th to the 24th at City Center.
And this Tony winner may be heading under the sea.
Okay. Someone has to define live action to me at some point. But there is a
Why, what
live
is this?
action
It's
Little Mermaid in the works, which we already knew about. And Tony winner Daveed Diggs.
What do you mean by that? Everything's live action. It's not the animated
Call it
one.
live action. It's just odd.
It's all live.
It's live,
Like-
but not live
But
because
it's not
movie.
always live, though.
Right. So
But this one is live?
That's a good point. This is not Little Mermaid live that will be on ABC.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, this is the live
Okay.
action Little Mermaid, which is directed by Rob Marshall
That
and stars
Lin-Manuel
Halle
Miranda is
Bailey.
working on.
Lin-Manuel Miranda offered some
And
additional
Alan Menken.
songs. Alan Menken. Thank
Stepping
you,
on
Paul.
your news story.
Really helpful. But Daveed Diggs is in talks, I guess I would say in talks and final negotiations, that sounds serious, to play Sebastian.
I bet he's just doing it.
I bet he's just doing it. They got a sign on the dotted
Sounds
line.
like he's in, but
doing
not
it.
officially.
Not officially, but officially. He is going to play Sebastian alongside Melissa McCarthy and Halle Bailey, and Javier Bardem is rumored to play King Triton. It's a rumor.
Right. No roller skates.
No, wheelies. They were wheelies.
I know, but
totally
they were
different
roller
thing.
skates, Beth.
It's a live action remake. That's all I'm saying for it right
So,
now.
but who's Shaggy's playing that role?
Shaggy's playing
in-
Sebastian.
Shaggy's- That's a different thing.
Is Little
yes.
Mermaid live? That one's sooner. So we talked
Little
about
Mermaid
that.
live.
Yeah.
This is why I said that.
Okay.
But perhaps if you go see Freestyle Love Supreme, you might see Daveed Diggs
True.
live at the Booth Theater.
You can ask him. Did you sign the contract yet or not?
Yeah. Do
And
it.
let us know.
I dare you.
Let us know.
They're going to call on you, so make him improv about it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and one of this stage favorite is headlining an upcoming industry reading. It's very mysterious and fun.
Jazz hands.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hamilton,
Yeah.
segue.
Yes.
So Sidney James Harcourt, there's this new musical called Pop Star that's been sort of around for a couple of years doing readings, I think. And there will be another one on October 17th and 18th at Ripley Greer Studios. And Sidney James Harcourt, I like saying all three names. I guess he was also in Girl from the North Country,
He
which
was
I
wonderful in
He
it, but they
was.
haven't announced that role for Broadway.
What?
Yeah.
But he was a standout performance.
Well, can somebody go ask him?
We have a lot of questions.
Anyway.
You guys have a lot to do.
So this is a workshop. He did it in 2016, and now he's doing it again. It's directed by Sharon Rosen, Martin Casella, and Sophie Dupin, and Jay Levine. I don't know any of them, but I'm sure they're fantastic. They wrote it. And it's about a driven, brilliant, but abrasive Hollywood record executive who strikes out on his own. So I guess it's about the music industry.
Pop star.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But I don't know if it's open to the public. Do we know?
Industry reading.
Oh,
You gotta
gotta
have
be
your
like an
industry
agent.
card.
You gotta have money.
We all got car. We
If
have
you
like
have at
industry
least
card.
$2 million you're willing to put into a new musical, I'm sure they'll let you in.
Yeah,
True.
sure.
Yes, and we are all taking you guys way down to Hadestown with our newest Gotta Dance.
That's a lyric reference.
Oh, thanks, Paul. You're so
I like
helpful
when you
today.
do that. I like when you do
You've
that.
been
Like
doing
you
that.
did earlier about The Rock.
You're
I mean, that
welcome.
was
Lyric reference.
We're
It
here
was
for
a
you.
very
Afra
specific reference.
Hines is our latest Gotta Dance. She's awesome.
Awesome.
yeah.
She was inspired to be a dancer. She was a gymnast, and she was inspired to be a dancer by seeing Savion Glover on Sesame Street. Sesame Street is so important to young people.
Clinton Greenspan, Brothers Aladdin, was also a gymnast. That's the thing.
This has become a lot about Clinton Greenspan. Do you want to tell us what's coming on?
He was very charming.
Afra Hines has been in, I think, 7 or 8 Broadway
Yeah.
shows. She's been on Broadway for 10 years, but she's so young because she went right out of high school to the Broadway.
Okay.
Love that. Love that. So check that out.
Cool.
There are beautiful photos by Matthew Murphy and video as well.
And we also have the first look at Linda Vista, which opens tomorrow. Is that
Tomorrow.
true?
Yes, indeed,
Second
with Jan
stage.
Barford.
And you really liked it. You really
did
enjoyed
like
it. I
it.
haven't seen it yet. It's
liked
a long one.
It's a long one, but it's Tracy Lett, so it's just, yeah. And there's
Snappy.
karaoke.
Oh no, August Osage County didn't really.
Not at all. Not at all. But it's engrossing. It's engrossing.
Cool.
There we go.
Thank you for making
you.
it back from your matinee to join us. How was Marissa Tomei?
She's wonderful always.
Wonderful. Why wouldn't she be? I'm gonna see her tonight.
She's an Oscar winner. She knows what
But
she's doing.
right now, thank you, Beth. Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about today's guest?
Yes, gladly. We got Miss Petrina Bromley here with us today from Come From Away. As we said before, she is an original Broadway cast member. And fun fact, she's from Newfoundland. She told me how to say it before, and I tried to nail it, but I didn't. We're going to talk to her all about that. Her other stage credits include As You Like It, Enron, The Sound of Music, and more. Make sure you follow her on social media at PDB. Such a short and sweet, so fun. And leave all of your questions in the comments below. Everyone, please welcome Petrina and Paul.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
So how do you say it?
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Like understand.
Understand. Newfoundland.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
I've been saying it wrong on this show for 3 years. I thought I had it.
I keep saying the one thing Come From Away is going to do is teach the world how to say
Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Newfoundland.
Because when
I
we
love
sing
it.
it,
No, I like saying it. I
one
understand.
like Newfoundland.
How are you?
Awesome.
You are like a real part of Broadway now, right? And this is your first Broadway show.
This is crazy. This was my first Broadway show. I
you're
was
like-
living in Newfoundland,
Okay.
working in Canada, but living in Newfoundland, and somehow I'm on Broadway now, and I live in Queens, and I work in Times Square.
And, as you do.
crazy.
And so you're in your third year, like 2.5 years ago, right? It opened on Broadway.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I admittedly, knowing nothing about any of it and being told by some people in the company, like, anything can happen after you open. It depends
Yeah.
on how the reviews go and all that stuff. And a couple of people with horror stories of at the opening night party, we were told we were
Right.
closing,
Right.
stuff like
Yes.
that. So I went into it going, well, this might be a fun couple of months.
Right. Who knew?
And having no idea that here I would be almost 3 years later.
And how many cast members have been there since opening night? A good number.
There's like 8 of
Yeah.
the original 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that must
Or
mean
9,
it's a
right.
nice place to work. I mean, it seems like everyone who I've met in the company, they really like each other.
Mm-hmm.
They really like the show. That warm and fuzzy feeling you get from the show seems to also exist amongst all of you and the producers and the creatives and sort of everyone involved in the show. Is that fair to say, or is everyone just really good actors and they're lying?
And no, none of us are good actors. It's just true. I mean, I think I think it's a trickle down from David and Irene,
Yeah.
the writers of the
Yes.
show, who, if you've ever met them, seem like they can't be real people. They're so nice. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
actually wonder, it's like, you kill people, don't you? Like, there are bodies in your backyard because they're just so genuinely nice. So I think when that is the environment that you come into, everybody else just responded to it, and then they kind of had like a hire no jerks kind of policy, which I think is a great way to go. And so everybody just gets along, and we're all just really happy. And the show is about community, and
Yeah.
we've created a community
Yeah.
of our own, and literally the show cannot happen if each of us don't help each other out on stage in a way that is true of most shows, but like I'm putting down a chair for someone to sit in a
Right.
second later.
Right.
Not just I say my line so that you can say yours,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's about the community making it happen, a metaphor for the show itself, of course. And I think that just builds the way that we exist into our lives in that theater. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that because the show tracks a lot of sort of visitors to New York now, and it's really turned into a very much larger than, when a show first opens on Broadway, it's very much about the theater community seeing it, New Yorkers seeing it, and then, if you're lucky, you bleed into just sort of the more general theater goers, and people come to New York and they've heard of this show and they want to experience it. And I love that they get to see a show like this, which is such an ensemble show.
Yeah.
And that's why it won, Chris Ashley won Best Direction, and because it really is, it's sort of the magic of theater on top of this beautiful story, but you're really sort of watching how you guys all sort of piece it together every night.
Yeah, I totally agree. It doesn't really hinge on one person.
Right.
There's no star leading the thing that people are specifically there to support or see. It's the fact that a community tells a story together.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. It's my favorite kind of work to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just speaking of your cast, Jen Colella just flew by me on a scooter yesterday. Flew by me on 9th Avenue.
She'll do that.
As she does.
Yeah.
How is Jen Colella?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you share a dressing room.
I share with Astrid.
Right. Right. And so is that like Laverne and Shirley? I mean, do you create like a roommate situation after a while? I mean, you really must know a lot about each other's lives.
She calls me her show wife.
Okay, sure.
Which I absolutely will accept. And yeah, no, I mean, the funny thing about Astrid and I is she's Canadian as well.
Okay,
so
yeah.
we kind of bonded immediately when we met each other in 2015, I guess it was, as like the Canadian ladies in the show.
Right.
We understood things from a Canadian perspective.
Right.
We apologized a lot and said, "Hey," and all that stuff. So we just got along right away. And she had been to Newfoundland, has friends from there, and so there was that kind of commiserating. So yeah, no, I can't imagine rooming with any of the rest of them. They're all lovely, but I would miss Astrid so much.
Right. So when you're from Newfoundland, I said it right. Ding, ding, ding. I want like a little bell to go off every time I say it right. Are there a lot of actors from Newfoundland? I mean,
There are. I mean, the funny thing is it's a very small place. So there's a really big pool of creative people in general. It's literally something in the water in Newfoundland, Labrador that kind of part of our like Irish heritage and part of being in small isolated communities that for a long time had to entertain themselves. That everybody knows someone who's a comedian, everybody knows someone who's a singer, everybody knows someone who is a painter. Like it's incredible how much artistic ability there is there. And there are a lot of Newfoundland actors, but they're all over the place. In Newfoundland itself, there's probably a smaller pool, but on Broadway right now, I know I'm here, and Paul Nolan's wife, Keely Hutton, is also from Newfoundland. There was a gentleman doing Book of Mormon recently, whose name I forget, who's from Newfoundland, and Bob Joy.
oh,
Bob Joy's from Newfoundland.
okay.
Like,
yeah.
We're Mark O'Brien. I don't know if you know him, but he works in TV. He's done a bunch of stuff, and
Okay.
we're everywhere.
Okay.
You just don't know it.
What is Gander? How far did you grow up from Gander?
St. John's is like 3.5 hour drive from Gander. I've been there a lot because being an island, you
Right.
tend to do on island vacations, you know what I mean? And
right.
you have family who live out around. And I actually have family who were living in Gander at the time of the events of 9/11. So yeah, it's right on the highway, as a matter of fact, which makes it easy to get to.
Well, there's a big airport there, apparently.
There is a giant airport there, yeah.
So Bonnie is sort of, you play multiple characters in the show because that's sort of how this show was built. But there's a lot of animal drama.
Yes.
I'm a dog lover, so I mean I relate you now with like saving the animals. So we love you for that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're fine with that. Are you? Do you have any?
I have 2 dogs. They're my children.
Okay.
They are.
What are their names?
Sasha Fierce, and Princess Leia Organa. But only because Leia is a combination Dachshund Yorkie, and it's called a Dorkie. So I had to give her a Dorkie name.
That's adorable.
So she's General Leia Organa. Yeah.
Okay, so all that passion about saving the animals is actually in
That's
you.
very true. Yeah.
So you are playing the right role. Like,
I'm
before
so
you were like, I'm
typecast.
kind of passionate about animals.
It's the most typecast I'll ever be in my life. An animal lover from Newfoundland. It's like,
That's
I don't know.
hilarious.
No, it's
How did you first find out about the show? So you joined it when when you did La Jolla? Is that when you joined it? When in the journey before it came to Broadway?
yeah, I have one of those like hilarious girl in the candy store at the right moment kind of stories. I was in Gander at the 10th anniversary with a local theater company, Rising Tide Theater, and walked into the one coffee store that isn't Tim Hortons. It's something different now, but at the time it was named something vaguely Italian, like Giovanni's or something like that. And the guy who was with me is another actor who works mostly in Toronto, and he's from Alberta. But we walk in, and the only other people there are David and Irene. And he looks over and goes, "Oh my gosh, that's so weird. I know those two." So we went over and talked to them, and I met them there, and they said they were writing a musical about 9/11, and I was like, "Oh, no, don't do that, no."
Well, none of us knew really how that would go.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, never mind the subject matter and all that stuff, but when you're from a place and someone from elsewhere comes and says, "We're going to write your story," you can't help but go, "No, no, we're not who you think we are. The shipping news is awfully wrong." But so I was nervous about all of that. But of course, because they're such wonderful people and because they are friends with everybody they've represented, they've done an incredible job of painting true to life pictures of these people. They were not interested in creating stereotypes or, broad stroke characters. They wanted to create the people that they know. So anyway, I met them there, and then we kind of stayed in touch over Facebook and all that stuff. And when the show was happening in Toronto at Sheridan, I had a little bit of conversation with them. I think they thought I lived in Toronto, and they were like, maybe you might be able to be involved. And I was like, oh, no, I live in Newfoundland, so I won't be there, but thank you. And then I did get invited to audition for the professional show and sent down my tape, and then I came down here and had an audition. And can I tell this story? Because this is one of my favorite stories about Come From Away. I went to audition for this show at a big casting house where if you've ever done it, you go in and there's like 18 doors and it's a big, unfriendly concrete room where you can just kind of throw your stuff and people are going, and all that kind of stuff, which of course you do, that's fine. But from behind one of the doors, louder than a human being should be able to make noise, I heard someone singing, "Let it go, let it go." And I just went, oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm never going to get this. This is so funny. And I really thought my trip to New York to audition for this show would be one day when I'm an old lady on the porch rocking back and forth, I'll be able to say, I auditioned on Broadway one time. And so I went in with like pretty much no expectation. And I had my book with, I don't know, whatever tunes I had in it to sing. And when they asked for that, I was like, I do have a book, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think 'cause having heard, let it go, it's like, I don't make those noises. So I said, I think I'll sing you something from Newfoundland. And I sang this song, which is a comical song about a goat called The Mobile Goat. There's a gentleman who has a habit of swearing, and while he plants his potatoes, a goat keeps eating his potatoes. And one day he thinks the goat talks to him. So it's just a silly little song. And they let me sing all the verses, which I was amazed at. I expected at any second for them to be like, okay.
They had to hear the rest of the story.
They had to hear the story. Yeah. So I sang The Mobile Goat, which was made famous by a woman in Newfoundland named Joan Morrissey, who I had the honor of being in a bio show about her.
cool.
So I had a history with that song, and
So you sang it in the show. So you knew it from you did it in
yeah,
the show,
yeah.
right?
So I have I credit Joan Morrissey with getting me this gig, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you don't have to sing Let It Go. That's a couple blocks south.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a different show.
For me, that's a couple blocks north. I do not. I'm an alto. I do not have them notes. Yeah.
We love our altos.
So funny.
Hey, Caitlin, what are the
Yes.
people online asking?
Yes. Okay, I love this question. Marvin wants to know,
Hi,
what
Marvin.
would you name rare bonobo monkeys if you found them?
Oh my gosh. Well, you'd have to know their personality. You'd have to meet them, right?
Yes.
I don't know. Unga is a great name. I'm sure it means something. I should know, but I don't know. I think Gander is a wicked name. I tend to give silly names like Sasha Fierce and Leia Organa.
I like your taste
Like,
names. Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like, probably it would be something stupid like Cuddlebug or something. I don't know. It depends on what they're like. Trout is a great
Oh.
in Newfoundland. If you're a lovely person, you're a trout.
Thank you.
So maybe trout or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So Emily wants to know if you have a favorite line or moment in the show, whether you're a part of it or whether you watch it.
Does that shift around a lot? Does that change?
It changes a little bit every now and then, but consistently, there's a line towards the end of the show that the Diane character says, "We never would have met if this terrible thing hadn't happened." And every time I hear that, it really resonates with me because I'm here on Broadway from Newfoundland only because this show is happening, and this show is only happening because of the events
Right.
of 9/11. So
Right.
I'm kind of constantly try to make myself constantly be aware of the fact that I have a debt to 3,000 people who perished and
Wow.
the events of that day and all that sort of stuff. It's very heavy, but that is something that always sticks with me. Yeah, yeah. I also thoroughly enjoy the screech scene because it's foolish. On a lighter note.
People don't say the word foolish enough. I like that word. That's a good word. All right, we can do. Okay, let's end on this one because a lot of people are watching from Newfoundland right now.
Yay! Hello,
A lot of people are
Newfoundland.
saying hi. They say they want you to know that they are very proud of you. And how does it feel like to be able to represent Newfoundland in this way in this show?
Yeah. It's such a gift. I say it all the time. You were talking earlier about the fact that people come to New York to see this show, and it's
Yeah.
not just locals and all that stuff. People come from Newfoundland to see this show,
Yeah.
specifically in New York, in droves. Like, I meet people every day
Wow.
who have made the trip, and then meet people who are making the other trip, people who've come, seen the show, and are going to Newfoundland,
Yeah.
or who have already been to Newfoundland and now have come to see the show,
Right.
which is just, I mean, I don't think anybody thought it would have that effect, but the fact that it's affecting tourism in Newfoundland, which is just, I mean, there's no bad about that. That's all good. All of that is great. And myself and Romano Danilo, who's the Boron player, he's also from Newfoundland, and I've known him since, he was in high school. It's crazy
wow.
that the two of us are on Broadway together.
Wow.
If you told me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when we were in Munn Music School together, sitting in the student lounge, that you two are going to be on, I was like, you're crazy. That's a nice little dream. But yeah, no, it's incredible. There kind of aren't words to express how incredible it is to be an ambassador for your home and a place that really, really holds itself as being somewhere that you're from. You know what I mean? Not everybody feels like, oh, I'm from my hometown, but Newfoundland, you're from Newfoundland. And so to be someone who represents that and who basically tells people kindness is something we should all practice and is easy to do and will reap incredible benefits for you is amazing. It's incredible. It's wicked. I loves it.
Wicked's a few blocks north.
Yeah.
A few blocks north. Thank you so much for being
My
here.
pleasure.
Come from away. It's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Are you there for a bit?
We're here.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're here. Petrina Bromley is in Come From Away. It's also playing all around the country, right? I mean, it's
We're
it's
in
a thing.
3 continents in
Three
5 cities at any given time.
Amazing. I love that statistic. Thank you so much for being here. Go see the show. If you haven't seen it yet, it is beautiful. I actually want to go see it now again. Now
Let's
that I'm
go.
talking to you. So we're going to, are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
We're going tonight?
Yeah.
Sorry, Marissa Tomei. Thank you for being here. Hey, everyone. Caitlin's going to take us out.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We're live at 5 every single weekday here on Facebook. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts by searching for hashtag live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We talk to Andrea Burns of The Rose Tattoo.